when you're practicing or when you're reading the tape or if you're doing your demoing or if you're going to be taking another trade that would be gainful if it was to be profitable, whether it be funded account, combine or live account funds, I want you to think about what I said today. I want you to take it to heart, because if you start feeling that and you feel like you just want to get in there, turn the chart off, walk away, don't do anything. Come back to it an hour later and see what would have happened. And be honest with yourself. If you would have did the impulsive entry, how much drawdown would you have gone through? Did it run without having to set up for them later on and still ultimately go to where your model would have said? It's going to be hard for you to do this, next to impossible. But for the folks that really are here to try to learn, they want to have excellence in their executions. They want to be able to trust themselves as the trader, the operator, using the information and not be impulsive like a gambler at the casino. This is screw it. I got $100 left. And I'm just tired of this. Let me just lose everything so that way I can't come back to the table now. I can't come back to this slot machine. I don't know why I can't. For life, I can never remember the name of that thing, but I got it right this time. Slot machine. A gambler, they don't have control over themselves. They lose themselves. And I don't gamble in casinos. I've taken $100 to a casino. It was my first year anniversary. We went to Atlantic City, stayed at the Taj Mahal, not because I like Trump, but because we had a comp there from a friend of the family, and they let us stay in his room, and it was really nice. But I knew enough about myself that I don't want to take money there and gamble. So I said, I'll just put $100 into a slot machine, and whatever happens, I don't care. And it took forever, like 5 fucking hours for me to lose this $100. Every time I went down, 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 I never went higher, thinking like $115 is the highest it went. So my best was $15, but who's going to stop at $15, right? But for hours and hours and hours, it would drop down. I'm down to 30, and all of a sudden it up to 80, $90, $100, maybe 102, something like that, but never went above 115. And it would drop me back down into 20s and 15, got down to like 12 one time. I was like, okay, it won't be long now. It's going to be gone. And then right on back up to the 75 and 80 hours. And I'm like, what the hell? And at this point, I'm like, man, what the shit? There's maximum bets. I want to lose this now because I don't have the discipline to get up and walk away from it. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I might get lucky. The 3 sevens might come up. I might get whatever the machine total was telling, flashing above it. That's what happens in trading. Every single time I lost my account, it was the same thing. I would make a little bit of money. I'd lose a little bit of money, make a little bit of money, but not go back to the same equity high or the opening balance. And it would draw back down again. And then I'd get mad because it would just be back and forth, just underwater. And I just wanted to have that one trade to put me back above water. Because in my mind, I was thinking, 20-year-old, even if I have a failure here, I got plenty of time to make more money and refund it. That was my excuse. That was the insurance policy. That's bullshit. That's the wrong mentality. You need to treat it like it's the only account that you're ever going to have. That means it means something to you. It's your child's education fund. When you start thinking about it like that, it ain't your girl money. It ain't I can replace it with something I can do over here or there. It means something to you. When you conduct it with that in mind and you are held accountable, which is real hard in this industry, because how can you be accountable to anyone that doesn't do it too? It's not like you can go to your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, a family member, your coworkers, and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, and I want to show you what I'm doing, and when I'm wrong, I want you to be able to say, are you following the model? They want those opportunities. They want to be able to say, I told you it wasn't going to work. So you're not going to be comfortable and honest. And your spouse isn't going to see it. They're not going to see it. They're not going to believe it. They're not going to be behind you because they've never seen this before. You haven't seen it before. You brought nothing for them to feel confident about what it is they should trust. There's no evidence that what you're doing is a worthwhile investment and you're trying to risk money. It seems like gambling. It seems like nothing more than going to a casino. So they're not going to support you. They're not going to be a means of holding you accountable in a realistic manner without being too judgmental. So you have to do it. You own all this responsibility. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You're the manager. You're the employee. You're the HR department. You're all of it. And when you fail, you failed. Not the model. Not the broker did it to me. You did. You did. When I lost my accounts, it was every bit of my responsibility. At the time, I was looking for every possible way where I can justify it somebody else's fault. Because I was angry. And I was angry and ignorant at the same time. And that's a terrible combination, especially today where we have access to people's time, their eyes, reading tweets and bullshit that's posted directly to them, because they wouldn't say that shit if it was in front of them. People have bravery today because they're separated by thousands of miles. And they think anonymity protects them. But that same kind of shit wouldn't fly in the streets. Get your fucking card punched real quick. But you invite social media. You invite toxicity. And all of those effects you're inviting at the time of your trade. You don't realize you're doing it, but you are. Because you're in a hurry to have something to be able to share and champion online. Because in your mind, before you get these wins, before you get this profit, you're saying to yourself, I want to have this so I can go online and share it with ICT and he'll retweet it. Or I want to be able to share this with the people that I'm in a community with. And they're going to be able to say, that's awesome. I saw so-and-so. He did or she did this today. And you'll be a sense of encouragement to someone else. And that then therefore makes you significant. But you're already significant. You're a work in progress. But you're looking for outward signs of significance versus you having comfort in your own skin, knowing that what you're about to do is what you always will do. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're not trying to do something new. You're not letting the motivation become impulse. You're carrying the motivation to execution. 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 It's about that. That's the process. That's the model. It's about following the fucking rules. And if you do that by default, you will get the results you're looking for. But if you don't do those things and you include outward opinions or being led to do things for the purposes of being able to show somebody else that you did something, you want to prove somebody wrong. You want to prove somebody inferior to your ability to trading. You want to prove that your method is better than their method. My method, it's yours, and back and forth bullshit. And then you got sucked into the drawdown. That's natural. It didn't reverse, but you can't handle it because you don't know how to trade and you didn't do anything in the model. You're just impulsively chasing price. And because human nature being what it is, you, like anyone else with a weak mind, would say, well, it's not my responsibility. I didn't lose money. You caused me to lose money. When I didn't push the fucking button, bitch. You did. You did that. And I have students in my mentorship that in every intake, some of them tried to do that shit. And I said, show me where I told you the entry pattern was. Where was the entry price on it? Where was the stop loss at that you employed? Where did you hear me say that? Didn't happen. But it went to where I said it was going to go. You are to study which one of these PD arrays do you see continuously occurring. Whenever I point to something in the price delivery, this is where I think it's going to go. And it runs there. When you observe and you study price action, what are you seeing? Because not everybody's going to see a fair value gap. Not everybody's going to see a mitigation block. Nobody's going to see, not everybody, but everybody isn't going to see a breaker. The one that jumps off at you, that you're just able to see right away, real quick and easy, that's the one you start with. Because you're all going to learn from that one foundation how you can apply every PD array after that. But you got to get good at one of them. How's that possible? Because you're all doing the same damn thing. The market's going to go to liquidity or inefficiency. And you have to have experience working towards getting that goal as a skill set that you can lean on. If I'm 100% confident that I know which side it's going to go for, buy side or sell side, whether it be in the form of inefficiency or actual liquidity below or above highs, whichever those two instances are, whatever I settle in on and I'm confident with it, when I show you my pyramids, when I'm building up a position, I'm literally trading every fucking PD array that's forming from the time I get in the trade until it gets to 50% of the range that I'm expected to see pan out. Then I can't do any more pyramid entries. But I'm literally trading every fucking PD array just to prove and stick it in the asses of everybody out there that doubts this stuff ain't really there. I do that. And any one of those pyramid entries could be your unique entry model. It's not selling the idea that that's better than the other ones that I've taken. Any one of those can be what you're looking for, but does it resonate with you? And what happens is when I do this, you all want to just go out and say, I want to be able to do that. I want to do 8 entries and capture this big run up full pull. That's what I mean when I say I'm not the best mentor, because I don't always have the best way of teaching. The methodology that I'm trying to employ, teaching a concept, many times gets lost in translation. And that's why sometimes you'll say something to me that otherwise, it's a really nice opinion of me. It might be, a high remark, but I won't like it because you got something from something that I wasn't really aiming for. And I don't want to encourage you to see something that really wasn't my intention at all. So it's a very difficult thing for me to be a teacher doing this, because it brings with it. I mean, if you were all honest and you were 100% responsible, I would want nothing more to be able to sit out here and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. But you see people out there talking bullshit now. They're talking bullshit. I'm out here proving it every fucking week, and they're making up shit. It's laughable. It's literally laughable. But that's human nature, and things are getting tightly wound up, and people are getting really emotional. They're lashing out, and they want every opportunity to find an outlet. Let me plug into whatever's available so that I can release my hostility. I'm not going to be that for you. You're a fucking failure because you're a fucking failure. When I failed, it was my fault. When I succeeded, it was because I stopped thinking like a dumbass. Stopped doing dumb shit. Stopped inviting outward influences and me being impulsive. I had to wrestle that stuff. I had to subdue it, overcome it, and make no allowance or invitation for it. That's what I'm talking about. It's why it's going to take you longer.